Hello and welcome to the Rangers Rabble. I don't even know. Is this a podcast? Is it a party? I don't fucking know. But I'm joined live by Scott Kerr and Graham McGraw, usual Rangers Rabble contributors. But I'm also delighted to be joined by Colin McDuff of the Gallant Few podcast. Colin, how are you?
I'm fucking delighted. I'm over the moon. Cheers for having me on, guys. Just coming home. What can I say?
I know, I says to the guys in the group chat, why don't we go live? Let's fucking do it. And then I went live and I went, what the fuck did we talk about? I never watched the game. You know what I mean? So
I watched it through Twitter.
I was
seen it through Twitter. I was recording.
I'm recording Monday's podcast during the game. And somebody, I think it was Cammy, says to me during it, can I stop? Ross County are 1-0 up. And I'm going, no, there's no way. I know they're shite, but I'm not that shite, you know? But no. Nah. So I mean, we all thought that was it anyway, Keir, but is that it?
I don't like. I'm still thinking. I'd probably say yes. I think they're shot to pieces, to be honest with you. I seen Lennon get interviewed there because I turned it over and he looks defeated. So I'll probably say it is aye. First time I've said it, but I'll probably say aye, it's done. And it's coming back to Ibrox and it's coming back to stay.
How you feeling, Graham?
As I was saying earlier, mate, I think I was buzzing like 2-3 weeks ago, thinking it was over, and then it's just reached a new level after that tonight. Actually, I've just actually ready to go to my bed.
And then I put in the group chat, let's do a podcast.
Let's have a party.
Right, listen, for anybody watching, you need to get your comments in because, I mean, I don't watch Celtic games, so I don't have any questions to ask. But I suppose the only question I've got is, Colin, how do you think your pal Dave King's feeling?
Best pal Dave King. Just get that right. Well, he was talking about either opening a bottle of wine for 1872 or a bottle of Buckfast. So it may be cracking open the tonic tonight, but I kind of thought I shot the bed a few weeks ago. See, after the Hibs game, we went on the podcast and I was like, nah, it's done. That's it, done, boys. Cigars out, feet up, and then we were playing really poor for a few weeks after, and I was like, fuck this for everybody. But no, it's absolutely done. It is.
I know, and I've got a comment for somebody just called Facebook user, right? Now, obviously, that's just a user of Facebook. I don't know how they get that name up.
I know, I've seen that.
Scott, did you see this? Did you see the comment, Scott? How baldy is Scott getting? Scott, how baldy?
I did, Jess. I cut my hair like this. It's fine. As I walk down haircut. Usually have it down to there, but it's not there. It's stress. It's stress, Martin. Stress.
Is it stress or what?
The last 10 years of stress. That's my age. I'm getting old.
I know. Colin, listen, mate, it's been, 10 years of pure and utter pain. How are you feeling?
It's hard to put into words. I was there in Kilmarnock 10 years ago. I was in the Killie end that day, like hundreds of other people were, but see the absolute shite, and I don't want to get too emotional, too deep and meaningful and stuff, but see the roller coaster.
Listen, do me a favour, going to start crying because the views will just go through the
roof. I'll be a meme by Monday morning. No, but see the roller coaster we're on. That's and the shit we've had to put up with and sometimes fairly on board at times. This is why we should pounce on any occasions like this. Go live, like Heart and Handy do their Timplosion pod. They should do a daily Timplosion pod. Like honestly, we need to jump on it and just enjoy every minute of it.
I know. Do you know what? If David Edgar's watching, which I very much doubt he is, because I think he'll be recording his own thing. Come on, David. The more the merrier. You know, I mean, Graham, you can't stop smiling. Is it weird to kind of react this way to a Celtic game?
I don't really pay attention to any of their games, to be honest, mate, unless it's against us. So it's quite weird for me. I don't even watch the game. But just buzzing, mate. You see, I can't stop smiling.
I know. I didn't expect him to get beat up at Ross County, you know, and I mean, what a man care John Hughes is. You know what? Regardless of what team he supports, what a man.
He's a really likable guy. Do you know what I mean? He
Mm.
doesn't. He's not a bad word even when they played us at Ibrox and we beat them very convincingly. They actually played quite well. When he came out and said that, he said that his own team played well, but Rangers were just far better quality in the day and they were the far better side. So I'm not against John Hughes. So I hope Ross County stay up with us. The other team's good in Motherwell, Kilmarnock, to name but a few. But no, I'm just excited tonight. Really excited. I just can't stop smiling.
Do you know? Do you know what? It was that moment where I was trying to. I'm still halfway through editing the podcast, right? That's going out tomorrow morning, and I'm working early in the morning. But you know that way I've got the radio sports sound on whilst trying to edit a podcast, right, Colin? You'll know how difficult that is. And I'm listening, and I'm listening, and I'm listening, and I went, "Oh fuck, they're going to get beat. This is fucking tremendous." And then a thought came to my head, and CGM has just messaged it in. Very amusing result this evening. Not sure who or what Lennon is blaming for it. Now, Colin, I don't listen to Super Scoreboard, right? But I can only imagine on Monday. I'm waiting on this excuse coming. We done that on purpose so that they wouldn't win the league at Parkhead.
They're clutching at straws, they really are, aren't they? But so can we definitely know win the league at Parkhead? Is that definitely off then?
I think we need to drop points to win the league at Parkhead.
But that's also
we need 7 points. I think we need 7 points to be sure. Aye.
So 2 wins, Livingston, St Mirren. That's 6. So aye, we can win it at Parkhead.
We can win it. Aye, 2 wins gets us. We can win it in goal difference. 7 points makes it we can't catch us. So, but I see them losing points before that. I know.
Either that, we'll see if Neil Lennon's a man of his word. He said that they would give us a guard of honour if it was them. So we'll see.
That would be even better, wouldn't it? To win it the game before and then the clap is on the pitch.
Can you imagine it? Can you imagine a guard of honour off of them? Can you imagine the implosion if there's a guard of honour? But listen,
spend a fortune in fences.
Have you all bought your inflatable shark shit, by the way?
No yet, mate, no. I've got my smoke bombs in that already.
I've got smoke bombs. You see have a Rangers fan in your radar coming out with smoke bombs.
Kyle writes in, the last time we won the league title, I had just started at high school. Now old enough to drink across the pond. Definitely going to enjoy this. And Colin, that can't be forgotten, all this. It's been 10 fucking years since we've done this. And we have went through so much shit that I don't think there's many other clubs that would have survived it.
No, absolutely. Yeah, maybe a handful of clubs across the world can make a comeback like that, like we have, and it's been the last 2 or 3 years. It's no went how we wanted it, but it's all been like we've been putting all the steps in place. So when we do get back to the top, we're going to stay there. I think I don't want to be too premature, but we're building a foundation for the next 2 or 3, 4 years, and this is, I said to. We named up my pal Dave King. I said to him the other day, this will be the most important title in my lifetime. No 2 ways about it. It'll be the most important title that I've seen so far, and nothing else will eclipse it. It's just so significant, going for the absolute bottom structure football. And I know other teams across Europe have done that, like Juventus, they went down, worked their way up, but we had everybody against us. Absolutely everybody. We had the people running our club against us, just want to catch us when we were doing, and we've done it like the Dave King and the Three Bells to every single Rangers fan. It's I said I wouldn't cry, but I'm actually getting quite emotional just talking about it. Like honestly, 10 years of shite we've put up with, and we're seeing the other end of it.
I know, and you know, there was times, Graham, under Warburton where we got pure excited because we were playing really good football, and then we came into the top league and listen, we just weren't good enough. You know, we've had Pedro Caixinha, we've had Graham Murray. I'm struggling for words. How much of a legend does this make Steven Gerrard?
Massive legend, mate. He'll not understand until it happens. I lost for what here. Aye. It's up there with Watersmith and Souness. Definitely.
What we went through, Ian, it's just fantastic, man. Under Warburton, Pedro, Murray, Celtic were winning the league, and they were getting hundreds of praise, but we were shite. We were shite.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? This season, Gerrard took a cut of season to build us into this side, and their first decent challenge they get, they falter because they thought they were going to get their big achievement, and they weren't. So we deserve the praise. We deserve this achievement, and I can say just now, yeah. So happy, man. So happy.
I can't say that because my daughter's up the stair, you know.
The board deserve a immense credit and all. Because, like, going 2 years without winning anything, no a lot of Rangers managers get that. So the board deserve, because there would have been a percentage of fans. I don't think it was a lot, but there would have been a percent saying that he needs to go and stuff like that. But everybody at Rangers, fans, everybody, the players.
You could see what he was doing behind the scenes, but as well, he was doing it everything. I mean, and you could see we were gradually getting better. And that
The
was,
European record, that was amazing. I think that's what
It's- I know.
definitely you can see it.
Aye. I just hope he doesn't end up getting back down the road because Liverpool are faltering. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, we don't care about that now, man. That doesn't matter.
That's for another day to worry about.
That's for next week. You know what I mean? We've got Scott Hodge, and I don't know if this is legal, right? But announced a live smoke bomb, league done. So if it's not legal,
Social
then
distance, social distance smoke bombs.
Aye, if it's not legal, then the Rangers Rabble does not endorse it. But if it is legal, get it fucking done. And a good point for CGM, actually. We don't actually have to win any more games this season, and we would still win the league. Colin, if I could ask you a question, just how fucking embarrassing is it for Celtic that we've absolutely dominated them when they've had all the advantages of the last 10 years? If it was a close league and we won by a point, fair enough. But this must be absolutely embarrassing for them.
Celtic should have been out of sight at Rangers for years to come, and that's. But the fact that they didn't, that's the first embarrassment. They should have been light years ahead of us. And honestly, see that in the way this season's went, like none of us should have wrote it. Like our absolute wildest dreams of how good this season could have went, it wouldn't be anywhere near this. It's a complete embarrassment. We put them to shame, and they can't. See, on top of that, they can't just say, you only won it because we were pish. They would have had to have the best season ever. Best season ever to be keeping up with us right now. I think they would have the Brendan Rodgers season. They would have had to have matched just to be anywhere near us. So, we've absolutely put them to shame. We really have.
Kehill's also wrote, and give Pedro his due, brought Morelos, Jack, and Candeas. Did Pedro bring Jack, or was that no Gerrard that brought Jack, or am I totally wrong there?
I think it was Pedro.
Was it Pedro? Yeah. Oh well, fair enough. And Aldo shares your sentiments. How are we going to manage to? Because don't forget, guys, we're on a lockdown, right? How are we going to manage to keep this title party out of the streets?
We won't.
No takers for that.
I don't want to condone breaking the social distancing rules or anything, but there'll be street parties up and down the country. There will. That's just is going to happen.
I know and actually I brought this up on the podcast tonight that I've still to edit and put out. Graham, it's such a shame that the supporters, a bit like Liverpool last year, we're going to win the league and we can't actually be at Ibrox to celebrate it.
I know it's tough, but
does it matter?
I don't think it does this year as such because we can just enjoy it. It means everything, but it's hard to say, innit? I would love to have been there, but we can't do nothing about it. So I don't really think about it because we can't do nothing about it.
Do you think it's just became so normal, Keir, that
it has been.
It's like that much of a difference?
I think it will when you see them actually happening, but as you said earlier, it's become the norm. You're in the house every game every time's a game winner. You don't go to the pub anymore. You don't meet your mates. You don't go on a supporters bus. Everyone's just watching it on TV, and has become the normal. You just, when you go back to, hopefully, sooner rather than later, we do get back to normality, but hopefully we can be there for next season for seeing the flag getting raised, but let's just enjoy it. It's been a long time, so just save every second it.
There's been a comment for CGM, but for legal reasons, I'm not allowed to put it on screen. Well, I've ran out of questions here, guys. I'm absolutely buzzing. 55's coming, Colin, and I mean, is this did at the start? In fact, I'll ask this right before we wrap up, unless anybody comments, any questions or wants to get some comments over. Realistically, at the start of the season, did you really think that we could do it this year?
I did think that you always go in confident that your team can challenge, but I generally thought at the start of the season, if we're serious about this, we need to build up a lead early on and get ahead early on, because I'll be honest, I didn't see this Rangers team. See if it went neck and neck, and it was going to the last 10 games, and we just needed to. We wouldn't have beat Celtic in a title race. I don't think we had to build up the lead early on, and that's what we've done. So I thought if we were going to do it, it had to have been we build the lead and then we keep it. I'm glad it's worked out that way.
I mean, Graham, I don't think anybody could have imagined it being just this emphatic.
Knowing my wildest dreams, I think it would be this. The gap would be this big. But I did think we would win it, but at the beginning of the season, I must admit. But I didn't think you can't dream it being this good.
No.
If you denied it.
No. And I think, Keir, the message that we want to send before we go is, look, it's been a poor season, but Lennon must stay.
Yes, correct. I agree, Martin. 100% behind you. To be honest with you, we've been fantastic this season, so it doesn't matter how well you've done. Once we started playing the way we were playing, we were always going to be up there challenging. So we probably, even if I had a couple of bad games, we were playing better this season than last season. I think the last two seasons has learned the players a lot for this season. Do you know what I mean? When we come back for the last two windows in January breaks, and we come back and played bad, I think this season's they've learned for that, and it showed them we can challenge them. They just needed to sustain it, and they have done. We've proven to everybody. I just hope we get a few good bits in the media. Once we do eventually get it, I hope the media give you some plaudits and give you some praise, because we're due it.
Well, actually, I was going to end it there, but you've just brought up the smoking gun as the media, Colin. And is the relationship now with Rangers and the media got to change for next season? Because BBC Scotland don't come anywhere near Ibrox. They're not banned, they just choose not to come near it. There's been a few dodgy, I mean, I'm going to use that politely, dodgy articles in newspapers. Have the media really got to change the way that they approach Rangers now that we are the flag bearers and champions of Scotland?
They do, and even if that wasn't the case about how successful this season's went, the last 2 years Rangers have shown that they're not going to put up with shite anymore. So for the last 10, 15, even in the end of the Murray era, journals and the BBC and the papers and the and all that, they were allowed to just say anything they want without any substance behind it about Rangers, and it was always left unchallenged. So that's the culture that they're used to. Rangers are saying that's not going to happen anymore, and fair play to them. As soon as that happens, Rangers challenge it, and ultimately they don't come back into. So like the apologies for Clyde Wan. I'm sure. I don't even think the record are back in anymore, are they?
I don't think so.
Aye, so the balls in their court. Rangers have showed that they're not going to change. They've started engaging fan media, obviously forwards and heart and hand. So I think the message has always been clear for the Rangers. They don't want fucking somebody come in and say black is white just because Rangers. They're open to criticism, but the one is fair journalism, and that like guys like Heart and Hand, forwards and that they'll always criticise the club if need be. So
if need be,
I think it will change because fan media is the better alternative right now.
Well, actually, that's a very good point, Graham. Do you think the fact that the likes of Heart and Hand and Four Lads have been so successful. And, you know, you only have to look at the numbers. You know, you look at podcasts like, you know, The Gallant Few getting, you know, Dave King, ex-chairman, Laura Fox, Club 1872 director. They've been so successful now. Do you think there's a way back for your traditional media? I mean, there always will have to be, unfortunately, a place for them, but maybe not just as many.
I agree, mate. I've not bought a paper for about 10 years, so none will change for me. So I've always got to fan media, or I like the Athletic, although that's a touchy subject in a minute. But I quite like the Athletic as well. But I'll always go to them, other than the papers and the journalists that just try to kick us when we're down without fair praise or criticism.
I know, and Kerr, listen, we only started in November, but here, listen, maybe next year we could be interviewing Douglas Park.
Never
and
know.
I'll leave that job to you.
That's fine. Never say never, Martin. You don't know what's round the corner. No, you do. But no, I'll say family does a way forward, because not just for football, for everything in life. Even when you look at other things all over the world, the tabloid media is not as big as it used to be, because people are making up their own ways to make news, no ways to make stories and getting out there. So tabloid journalism's it's not finished. It'll always be there, like you said, but it's never going to be as big again. Podcasting and other stuff's the way forward.
Aye, it is, and Colin, I do this all the time, right? And I say finally, and then I go in for about another 40 minutes, right? But finally, a brilliant comment for Brian Harley. Funny how Boyd comes back and they lose.
You just know Sky Sports are going to be filled with complaints tomorrow that Chris Boyd returned and finished the 10.
I know. Chris Boyd's smile won the 10, and he also, and this is a quick question for everybody just before we go, Celtic lose? Listen, Graham, as ever, guys, thanks very much for coming on. Colin, mate, at the last second's notice, thanks for coming on, and we hope to get you back on soon.
Listen, thanks very much for having us, guys.
No, thanks for everybody for tuning in at 25 past 10 at night. I've got a podcast to edit. They guys have got a bed to go to. Thanks very much for watching, and we shall speak to you very, very soon.